Brandon Davis back with the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe just tell us how you feel about him being back and how soon possibly could you insert him into the lineup?
Well, we're excited about having him here. There's a number of positives to it. One, organizational depth. Two, creating that depth on the blue line with somebody that's familiar with the organization, the city, his teammates, the coaching staff, language. Should give him a head start, and we try and get his confidence back up. When we play them, when we play him, we'll still determine that as we move forward. We'll look at the health of Larson and make decisions tomorrow, perhaps, on what our lineup will look like on Wednesday.
Regarding Nathan Walker, as a dad yourself, could you imagine moving your 13-year-old son to a non-English speaking country and just leaving him there? And what does that say to his character?
Well, I had to move our 17-year-old son across the country, and it wasn't easy. We're all big, tough hockey guys until that has to happen, and it's never easy when it does happen. So at 13, the commitment level from family and player is incredible. Two, it speaks to the type of person that Nathan is, the ability to handle that at a young age, face adversity, deal with a lot of the emotions that go with being away from home at such a young age. And I think that bleeds into the character that I've been told that he has. And I thought he had a good practice today. He hadn't skated for 5 days. Practice wasn't easy by any means today, and he handled himself well. So he looks like a hungry player, and it's nice to have that.
Todd, you've had a few days to kind of digest the third period in Calgary. LB said he lost focus there, and he said the corrections are easy to make. What did you see from his play in that period?
Well, our play, it wasn't loose to begin with. Our downfall was about a 7-minute span from about the 16-minute mark to the 8 or 9 minute mark, remaining on the clock. And some of it had to do with LB and his focus. There's no doubt about it. Other things went wrong for us on the ice that I think that we can fix and cure. But for the most part, we won the game. I think my comment after, I still stand by it. There's a lot of nights where you say the goaltender would like to have one or two of those shots back. Anytime you're saying that, usually you're on the losing end. So it was nice to be on the winning end of that night, and back to work today, try and recover and get better in every position.
When you have a young player, particularly a goalie, who's probably got some level of a confidence crisis after that period, how does the coach and the team try to support him? What do you do?
Well, the first thing is the relationship between that position and coach. It's a lot closer because there's only two of them. And I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking more about Dustin Schwartz. They meet every day. They talk about the emotional level, the physical level that it takes to play that position. And then they go into their breakdown and their technique. And all of that is meant to improve the goaltender. But not just positionally, also build up his confidence. Certainly rebuilding LB right now is one of our goals. It's not like he's completely broken, but we got to make sure that he gets a little bit of confidence, and it starts there. We created a number of drills in practice today that I think addressed some of LB's needs or our goaltending needs, and should also help us offensively, so we tied that in as well. And we got one more day to polish, as I said, that position, and everybody else is up. I don't at this point. We'll get through tomorrow, and we'll go from there.
Todd, at the end of the last season, you challenged Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, wanted to bring more offense. We've seen that. You did the same with Chris Russell, and he's got 12 points. He's 16th amongst defensemen in even strength points with 10. He's also playing, I think it's 2.5 fewer minutes at even strength. Is more or less more in a case of him? Is he fresher? Has that reduction in minutes actually helped him in the offensive zone at all, or is it just more he's going back to that elite defense when he was in junior in the offensive zone?
Well, I think there's a number of variables that come into that play. One, he played with Sekera, who has a little more of an offensive jump. So perhaps Chris stayed back a little bit more last year, let Reggie go and do it. They were at times our top pair or our second pair, so their matchup was a little bit different. So the competition level based on lines is sometimes higher or lower, and that may affect him as well. I think he's got a shot off a lot more this year than he has in the past, or at least has the intent to instead of looking off. So his offensive numbers go up, and that's a good thing.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about Jesse Pulujärvi's progress and what's been going on lately with him.
Yeah, Jesse, I thought once again, he looked really good the other night. He came and he started in his return to Edmonton. He played 6 or 7 games. He got a little bit of a rest, a chance to reload, and he went back out and played well. We're finding him around the net a lot more than he was in the past. So it's not always just opening up and looking for the one-timer. He's getting deflections, screens, tip-ins, rebound opportunities, and he was rewarded for it the other night in Calgary a couple times.
Coach, Darnell Nurse looks way more comfortable now, like he's playing within himself. He knows what he can do and what he can't do. Are you noticing that as well? He's not up the ice when he shouldn't be and those sort of things.
That's experience. I think in my time here, he's gone from being a very inexperienced, trying to figure things out player to feeling good about his game. And, that's exactly what you had mentioned in your question. Knows or has a better idea of when to go, when not to. And I've used the word his legs multiple times because his legs get him up ice, his legs get him back. He's got, I think, 2 or 3 extra strides now than he had when he first got here, and he's confident. Makes a big difference.
Will you decide on Larson if he can practice tomorrow? Then he'll play. If he can't practice tomorrow, then he's not.
Well, he didn't practice today, so that's not a positive sign. And one of the decision factors that come into play is if an injured defenseman especially is starting the night, can he finish the night? And if the answer is even wavering, we usually don't put him in because that's you can't short staff your back end 5 minutes into a game. So if there's any doubt, there's no doubt he won't play, and we will look ahead to the weekend then.
And Connor's just still got the same bug?
Well, I don't know if it's the same one, but he's got one, and I don't know if the flu's going through Edmonton, but it's going through the Oilers again, and a couple of staff members, a few other players, Strome had it, Greiba had it in Calgary, Connor's got it now. It seems to be a 24-hour bug that's knocking the heck out of guys for that amount of time.